Hi everyone, today we will present our term project, which is Deep Learning for Medical Image Reconstruction. I want to start with magnetic resonance imaging (MRI). The advantages of MRI can be listed as flexibility and ability to pick out different features of the selected portion of the human body. And actually, MRs don't use the damaging ionizing radiation of X-rays. But the disadvantages of MRI can be listed as the hardware limitations of the MRI device and longer scan and acquisition time. In the parallel imaging of MRI, in order to accelerate this scan time, several algorithms have been proposed, like sense, graph, and split. Although the proposed algorithms are robust and increase the performance of the parallel imaging, they mainly rely on linear interpolation and inverse problem-solving models for the reconstruction. Fortunately, with the emergence of deep learning algorithms, nonlinearity can be introduced to the reconstruction process, which in turn enables us to get more accurate and robust images. In the methods part, we will start with deep learning reconstruction. Multi-coil fusion methods are frequently employed to increase picture quality, although ELISAs can cause ghost abnormalities in fused images. We present an end-to-end network for single picture reconstruction that improves on the cycle GAN model by integrating an undersampled specific transformer design within the generator. You can see the picture here. We adjusted the cycle consistency loss in the proposed model to incorporate the SSIM loss together with the pixel-wise mean loss to build a new loss function tailored for the reconstruction job, which improves the proposed model's performance. In the network, we have these network summaries when the training is initialized for generator and discriminator parts. You can see the network summary for discriminator here and the network summary for generator here.
As for our second reconstruction method, we have used sense reconstruction. Unlike split or grappa, sense does not utilize the case-space domain for reconstruction, but uses the image domain. This technique is primarily performed in image space after reconstruction of data from the individual coils. And this method usually involves four main steps. First, generate coil sensitivity maps. Second, acquire case-space MR data. Third, reconstruct partial field of view images from each coil. And lastly, combine partial field of view images by matrix inversion. And lastly, we have utilized split reconstruction. This method is an iterative self-consistent reconstruction method for parallel imaging in MRI. In the calibration region, we decide the kernel, and as for the next step, for the whole case space, the unacquired data is filled based on this kernel. The advantages of this method is that we have only one set of coefficients, and we can use it for any geometry. So we can say that it is independent from the geometry. Furthermore, it uses large kernels, which increases the reconstruction accuracy. However, on the other hand, the iterative side of this method makes it much slower than sense or grappa methods. As for the results, we have two main set of results. One is for the Poisson four times undersampled images, and the other one is for uniform 4 times undersampled image. As for the Poisson 4 times sampled undersampled images, we have only look at spirit and deep learning implementation for comparison, as sense needs uniformly undersampled images. Here we compare the proposed deep learning algorithm with the spirit method. So the SSIM value for the DL implementation is found to be 0.97, whereas the PSNR value is found to be 39 decibels. However, as for the spirit reconstruction, 3x3 calibration kernel, spirit has a SSIM value of 0.64 and PSNR value of 14 decibel. And 5x5 calibration kernel split reconstruction has a SSIM value of 0.6 and PSNR value of 14 decibel. Here you can see the reconstructed images for comparison purposes. And you can see that a deep learning algorithm was able to reconstruct the image much more accurately, which is also can be seen in the error images for both Spirit and deep learning. Here we also again compare our results. This time, however, we also look at Spirit for 5x5 calibration kernel. And again, even though we increased the calibration kernel, still deep learning method was able to significantly outperform the Spirit reconstruction.
And to compare the deep learning method with sense reconstruction, we gathered a uniform data set, but to be the both comparisons consistent, we again used the same undersampling rate, which is 4. To compare the deep learning algorithm with the sense reconstruction, the SSM value of the deep learning implementation was the same with the previous comparison, as the test set is the same fully sampled images, which is 0.96 for SSM and nearly 39 decibels for the PSNR. For sense, the recorded SSM value was nearly 0.93 and PSNR value was nearly 40 decibels. And for Spirit, the uniform data, Spirit with 3x3 calibration kernel, the recorded SSM value was 0.74 and PSNR was 30.9 decibel. And for the 5x5 kernel, the values were slightly low, which SSM was 0.73 and PSNR was again 30.9 decibels. And as we expect from the metrics, deep learning method also outperforms sense method in as we can see in the reconstructed images and also the error images. And also the outperforming is more significant in the Spirit methods for the both calibration kernel sizes. And to conclude and discuss our project, in this project, different methods for parallel imaging has been implemented and tested for the reconstruction, and the reconstruction performances observed with SSM and PSNR metrics, as well as visual inspection. Sense was implemented in image domain and Spirit was implemented in case space. And deep learning algorithm was able to significantly outperform Spirit reconstruction. The result might be caused by the size of calibration region for Spirit. Since we have only used 5 coil images, the total data size for the calibration of Spirit significantly decreases. And also we have used large data size for the training and validating deep learning network, which significantly improves its performance. Advantage of utilizing only 5 coil images is that it reduces the training time for the deep learning network and also computation time for the Spirit. And if you look at sense and deep learning network, we see that difference is not significant as the comparison for Spirit and deep learning. However, sense is less robust compared to the proposed deep learning network, as it only takes uniform undersampled data as its input. However, in deep learning part, we can give all the undersampling masks as we want, like Poison that we gave for the comparison of Spirit. Thus, apart from the superior performance of the deep learning network, it also provides higher robustness. And at the end, we can say that from the quality metrics and the visualizations, deep learning algorithms successfully outperforms the other 2 algorithms, which are sense and Spirit. And we, at the end, compare different algorithms based on different image quality metrics successfully. Thank you for listening to us.